This artificial intelligence software can write a full convincing essay on whatever you want to talk about in under 5 seconds. I'm going to show you how. Maybe you've already heard about this because it is blowing up in popularity. You can already see this notice saying that we're experiencing high demand, and this is probably not going to be free for much longer. Now, before I show you this, I do want to give you a word of caution because you don't want to use this for nefarious reasons that will help you in the short term but not the long run. I think, yeah, it can help you in a pinch when your college essay is due tomorrow and you haven't started. But it could land you a fail if the teacher finds out you cheated. And it could really cripple your long term writing skills if you never learn the principles of good writing or books and all that stuff. So, with all that being said, let's get down to it and let's just test this out. So I'm going to say, I'm going to give it a prompt. Write a short article about how the best coaches aren't always the best. How about this? How the best marketers aren't always the best coaches? That's a topic I love to talk about. So let's just press enter, and all you have to do is give it a few seconds and it will start to kind of process that request and start writing a article. It already understands the structure of how essays are supposed to be written, so it puts that all into it. I think one of the cons is that you can't change the style of writing. I've tried stuff like write it in the style of Ernest Hemingway, and it won't necessarily work in that style. Everything just kind of sounds the same. Another con is that it can write in a very convincing way, but on occasion it will pull facts that are wrong. So you have to fact check anything that's put out there. And then also because of how popular this is, it's really growing because everyone's talking about it. I always have to have a prompt to say, write a short article rather than just an article or full blown essay because after a few paragraphs, it will crash because of just the sheer amount of people using it. So, when you say write a essay, put short essay before it. So if you do it too long, it will crash and it'll say error. So you'll see it's go, and then after like the third or fourth paragraph, sometimes fifth paragraph, it will crash. So let me just do another example. Write a short essay on why most coaches are frauds. How about most financial gurus are frauds? That's a topic I love to talk about. And you just have to put it in, make sure the prompt is very specific. I learned this when testing AI art as well. If the prompt isn't as specific and clear, then it'll get confused. So look, it's off to the races, and you can see that the essay is actually very tangible. It makes sense, and it works. So once again, you have to be careful about this. You cannot go overboard. I think most people, most students, you have to be very careful about this. Be ethical about this. Do not use this for nefarious ways just to like finish essays that you've never wrote, because I think in the long term, not only is it unethical, but it can get you in trouble. It can pull out a lot of really impressive facts that can raise a red flag that you didn't write about. So I think it's very useful to kind of get your brain flowing, even flesh out certain structures of what you want to talk about, and then build from there. So when I see this, it's still fairly generic stuff. So you really have to flesh that out and move it to something greater. So for example, one prompt you can use is write a short essay on why money making gurus are usually good at marketing but bad at providing great advice. And then you can end that sentence and then do a second one that says provide uh, real examples and scientific studies and statistics to back up your points. So that will be a way of actually making it less generic and having actual, reasoning and thought points. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it will pull up studies that you can't, that you really need a fact checked because it can get it wrong. But you'll be surprised. Some of it's like pretty convincing. It'll pull out some really good scientific studies for you, and you can get all this out. Now, I think in the next 6 months, teachers aren't going to catch on to this, but in the next year or two, you will, which means you will risk not only getting a fail when they find out or getting called into question, but this is not good for situations where you want to stand out, such as writing cover letters or resumes. You can literally have this do anything. So you can write a prompt and ask it to write a cover letter or resume for you. The issue is it will give you something that's convincing, authentic, but probably generic and will have you kind of fit into the crowd. Like if you're trying to get into Harvard and you don't want this to write your entire cover letter for you because there's probably going to be nothing super unique to you as an individual that'll make you stand out. However, I could see a use for this if you're maybe someone like in my shoes who has a blog, has a podcast, and needs to create SEO friendly content that's valuable to users but also authentic, real, and you need to generate that on a large basis every week, every day to get traffic. That's a situation where you don't necessarily have to be the most unique, but you need to stand out. Do I see this revolutionizing how students do work, how people write, how people create content? Yes, but only to a degree. I think it'll help you get that passing grade. It'll help you fill something out. It'll help some of the lazy jocks do their thing. But I do want to caution you against that because I'm not about just getting a passing grade. The true visionaries, the true creatives, the people who really push the world forward, they have the most original, innovative ideas, and an AI like this will not do that for them. It will help generate ideas. It will help kind of flesh out their points. It will help expedite the process, especially if you're just like some SEO marketing agency trying to put out content. But I think, what rises to the top are those innovative ideas. Mark Manson and James Clear, they have some of the best personal development blogs on the internet. And I think this will probably would even help them as a tool flesh out their articles faster. But they still did a lot of unique, innovative, creative thinking to get their thoughts out. Mark Manson has a very plain spoken, curse word filled language where he takes these complex ideas and turns them into everyday man speak. That's something that the AI, at least for now, can't do. And he just generates these really cool ideas. So if you're a student, I think there is a use for this. This tool is definitely very popular right now. So you might not even get into the wait list to use it anymore. A couple weeks ago, it was pretty accessible to anyone, but now it's blowing up online. So I do want to caution you and ask you to use this with ethics, with caution, and with the long term in mind. If you just neglect all your research and writing skills and have this do it for you, you're going to maybe get a passing homework assignment grade. And maybe that's all you want if, English isn't going to be your field of study. But in the long term, continue to invest in actually reading those books, actually doing the writing assignments, because when you want to stand out in those specific use cases like a college application letter, a work cover letter, this is only going to get a pass. It's not going to be so creative that it's going to stand out. That being said, I am very surprised and impressed by what it does. Like, look at this. It's within a matter of seconds, it spit out a essay with all this like supporting details and studies in it. And I think that is incredible. I can have it do a full-blown essay, but I'm not going to because it will crash the system. Um, that's why I'm having it only doing short essays, because there's so many people who are using it right now. So leave a comment. Let me know if you have any creative ideas that can support our community and help up level us. For me, I'm using this to generate ideas for my content on YouTube, for maybe talking scripts or articles. I don't use it as a full basis to lean on, but I do use it to kind of help flesh out my thoughts for video tracks, for articles, and so forth. So let me know what your thoughts are, and hope you enjoy.